Let's talk about default function arguments and what they are and why they're useful. I'm going to create a function that is going to be const products. This is going to be an arrow function, of course. I'm going to try to help you exercise more arrow functions. We have product. So within this products, we have product name. And then we have the product category. Cool so far. And then we have purchased quantity, the number of products that have been purchased. Purchased quantity. Cool. So this is our function, and I'm going to convert it into an arrow function. And what we want to do is basically return from this a string. That is the only thing that I want to return. And that is going to be backticks or template literals. And I'm going to say you have purchased. So you have purchased, for example, 7 hats. So first the purchased quantity comes in. That is going to be purchased quantity. And then it's going to be 7 hats. So I need to include the product name as well. It's going to be product name. And then I'm going to tag on an optional S. So it's like you have purchased 1 hat or 2 hats. Cool so far? And then let's put in the category. In the, let's grab the product category. And I'm going to add in the category word itself as well. And finally, I'm going to say thank you for shopping with us. Cool. Let's save that. Everything is okay so far. We need to invoke this function. So what I would like to do is I would like to say const shopping cart is equal to products. And I need to pass in a product name. Let's say let's grab that hat example. So hat, what is it? It's men's wear, I think. Yeah. And then let's say I've bought like 2 hats. And I'm going to save that, and let's console log it as well. Console.log shopping cart. Let's save that. There we go. So it says you have purchased 2 hats in the menswear category. Thank you for shopping with us. Cool. Now, what happens if I try to rerun this function? If I try to rerun this function and for some reason I forget what I've actually bought. So let's say this is going to be women's wear, I don't know, and let's say skirt. And for example, I forget how many I've bought. Women's wear. So basically the purchased quantity has not been specified. And when I save it, you can see what it is, what's going to say. It's going to say you have purchased undefined right here skirts. Now this is not an intuitive. I'm going to zoom out a little. You have purchased undefined. This is not an intuitive message that you have to that you should show to the end user. The end user doesn't know what is this undefined. You have purchased undefined skirts. Is that a type of skirt? What is that? So it's going to be confusing, and it's not a good UX. Now, what you have to do is you have to come up with fallbacks or safety features. Like there was another word that was right on the tip of my tongue. So we have fallbacks, that it could be called a fallback, or you know what? I'm just going to call it a fallback. I forgot that. Now, we can add a fallback for any function parameter using default function arguments. So by default, we are going to say, okay, the user has purchased, let's say, 2 skirts. Even if they forget, that is the minimum requirement if they want to purchase from our website. For example, you want to say, okay, if you purchase 3, then I'm going to give you like 1 for free. So for the most part, most people, they're going to purchase 3. And they're not going to add that number 3 because they want to grab 3 shirts or 3 skirts or whatever, and they want to get one free. And they're not going to type in, okay, how many I want. I want like 3 hats. They're going to select the hat, but the number 3 will already be there. And that is going to be a default argument. How can we add it? We are going to jump into the function definition. And in here, I'm going to add, let's say 3. So by default, it's going to be 3 skirts, even if the user doesn't select it. But the user could select it and could say, okay, I don't want 3, I want like 5, or I want 7. And when I save it, now you can see that it no longer says you have purchased undefined. It says you have purchased 3 skirts. So this is like providing a fallback for your function parameters in case something comes from the user that you cannot handle properly. Now, it is still going to work if we specify the third one, and then that argument is going to take precedence over this 3. Let's say 7, and now you can see it says you have purchased 7 skirts. It is the only time that this 3 is going to work is when it's not actually been given a value within our function invocation. Keep that in mind.